We started these videos pretty much daily back during the lockdown portion of what we now refer to as COVID. And during that time, one of the videos that I brought out, and I talked about it a couple of different times, was the idea of doing more, the idea of being more, but pretty much just the idea of more. And more being M-O-R-E. Now this week, Monday through Thursday, I'm going to take each one of those letters and do something with each of those letters. So today, I'm going to look at more. But before I do that, I want to talk about the idea that doing more, we all want more. Everybody wants more. But the question is, do you want more for yourself or do you want more from yourself? And the answer could be both. Quite honestly, if we want to be fully honest about it, the answer probably is both. We want more. We want more health, better health we might say. We want more money. We want more time. We want more of different things. But we also probably, many of us, want more from ourselves. We want to do better. We want to be better. We want to feel better about ourselves. That's a part of the wanting more from ourselves as well. So yesterday in our service, I talked about the idea that it was time to rise up, that resurgence. The resur of the resurrection, resurgo, the Latin word. And so it is time to rise up. It is time to do more. Now, as we come back together as a church, we have that opportunity in some ways, but what happens if COVID continues to escalate again and we're not able to meet again? Can we still be the church? Absolutely, and we must be the church. So I've talked about the idea of the church needing to be resurrected, just as Jesus was resurrected, that we need to have a resurgence of ourselves and of our time and our energy and the way that we go about life. And this is a prime opportunity to do that. So as we begin the idea of more this week and the M today, we begin with what the M means, and that is motivation. Now, I can't motivate you. Really, no one can motivate you. You really have to motivate yourself. I can encourage you. I can inspire you. But I believe true motivation comes from within. Now, we can be motivated in some ways by external pressures, but ultimately, it's what those external pressures bring up on us. It is that fear from within us that brings about those things. Because if those external pressures do not become internalized, then we really won't be motivated. There's a lot of people that could withstand a lot of pain, for instance. So what might motivate you and I pain-wise might not motivate them. So it must be internalized. And I might be splitting hairs here a little bit, but let me explain. Words can stir emotion, and they often do. And that can lead to motivation. We talk about motivational speakers. We talk about reading a motivational book. But words alone are not enough. If they were, then every time that you and I read a book that is motivational, we should be motivated. And there is not a book that is more motivational than the Bible. And yet we can read the Bible and not be fully motivated. So words alone are not enough. Listening to a good sermon is not enough. If it was, as soon as you heard a good sermon, you would do your part to change the world. So I would say even if words were enough, Jesus might not have had to die. Or at least the disciples would have been sold out for months or even years before Jesus' death and resurrection. But words do stir our hearts, and stirred hearts lead to intentions, both good, like Jesus, and bad, maybe Hitler. But to move from intentions to action requires what? Well, there's that buzzword again, intentionality. We must be intentional. We have to give a little extra. As I said in a video a couple of months ago, we have to go a little farther distance-wise. We have to go a little further mentally in some ways. So what I want you to do is just think about it for a minute. What inspires you? We're not inspired when we see something that is normal. We are inspired when we see something or someone that goes beyond what is normal. That inspiration can lead to motivation. Perhaps we see somebody doing something that we want to do. The only way to do it is to intentionally begin taking steps to do what they are doing towards that goal. Let me provide an example for you related to money. Dave Ramsey has helped thousands of people get out of debt and even more improve their overall financial situation. How? Well, he offers conferences, there's words. He's written books, there's words. And he has a daily radio show, more words. But none of that really motivates people. Those are all meant to encourage and inspire, and they do. But the motivation comes when people begin to act and they see the difference that taking that action makes. When they begin executing those good, sound financial principles, it begins to motivate them from within. This is why Dave Ramsey talks about baby steps, because as you begin to see the progress from a baby step, it makes you motivated to want to do more. That motivation not only kicks in, but it intensifies over time. Another example would be a drill sergeant. Now, a drill sergeant, we could say could motivate a soldier to do most anything, but really it's not the drill sergeant, it's not the yelling, and it's not the screaming, it's not the challenges that are issued that motivates. It's the fear from within from not succeeding or from letting down your team or from letting down your unit, or the fear of the punishment that might come from doing so. That is the true motivation. Fear is a strong motivator, and yelling can certainly intensify fear. Or what about eating better? If words were enough to motivate, then we would all eat better, because we've been told all of our lives you need to eat better. We might want to lose weight. We might want to get healthier. And the doctor says, if you don't do this, you're going to have problems. You need to eat better. But those words alone are not enough. Whether it's some sort of event or a significant health issue or something like that that brings about the change, that is where the motivation begins to take place. So what motivates you? That's what you need to determine. Much of what you do may seem like routine, but you are motivated to do that routine. Likewise, a lack of motivation or a negative motivation keeps you from doing other things. So if we want to be the church that God wants us to be, then we need to determine what motivates us, not only as individuals, but also collectively to achieve what He wants us to do. If we want to do more, if we want to be more, if we want to live more, if we want to love more, if we want to give more, then we need to find that motivation from within so that we can serve our King. Will you commit today to being motivated to live for Jesus?